Hello and welcome everyone to this very special day 3 recap where it was an amazing end to the preliminary stage of the Airthings Masters part of the Champions Chess Tour. What an amazing day we had. After a dull day of draws in day 2, we had plenty of action, plenty of results on day 3, and let's jump right into it. But do stick around till the end because there was only one game that changed the entire dynamics and cost even our dear Harikrishna qualification into the top 8, and we'll see that game very soon. So the first game in round 9 was between Anish and MVL. So in this equal position, guys, you see even the bar slightly better for white. White has just played rook to e2 protecting this pawn, and suddenly MVL blunders with king to g7, an inexplicable blunder. I mean, queen to d7 check was missed, a very simple check, and just MVL loses almost all of his pawns here, and it is game over because these two juicers are gonna queen very soon. So this was a game which almost cost MVL his qualification, but you will have to stick around till the end to watch the standings with me. Next game, our favorite Hikaru Nakamura won a really nice game after a rash decision by the tail ender of the tournament, David Anton. So in this position, Hikaru protects this pawn on e5 with queen e3, and a rash decision, maybe a practical one, just trying to make use of these two pieces, trying to make use of the pin. But Hikaru being Hikaru, he just calculates everything. And after there's just rook d1, rook d7. Now he's got to protect this knight twice, you think? Nah, he has everything planned here. And Hikaru goes BAM with knight f7. Point being, if queen d7, if queen e5, I'm going to take rook d7, guys. And if you take king f7, I just have this. And once you take this, I am a rook up. So let's check in how the game ended. After knight f7, queen e5 was played, and this is the intermediate move, guys. You don't have to recapture on e5, but you go boom, and after this, not even rook d8 because we don't want to lose our knight for free. So we take knight d8, and it's game over after this. A nice piece of calculation there by Hikaru. Another interesting finish was seen in Nepomniachtchi versus Dubov, two very enterprising players. And I think it around this position, so Dubov, being Dubov, has sacrificed stuff throughout the event, throughout the year. Actually, he has many contenders for game of the year nominees in chess.com's 2020 award. So if you haven't gone there, make sure that you go out and vote. Your votes will be counted even today, and today is the last day. I'll put a link in the description for you guys, and also feel free to vote for content creator of the year. That is like Samay is there, Vidit is there, plenty of Indian options in other categories as well. Do check him out. So yeah, in this position, Dubov has sacrificed in exchange, and just he has good activity. I mean, White's king is not looking good. White's pieces are kind of stuck. Before Dubov is hit with a brick here with Nepov's f6. I really like this move because once you take, now I trade everything on g5 with this, and the point being, uh, like in the end, a piece is too much. And here you see after rook b2, it is not white's king who's in danger, but black is checkmated by force. Oops, not this one. By force in two moves after knight e6. So knight e6, king moves anywhere. I just go rook f8 mate because this bishop is also a beautiful piece. So three pieces combining beautifully to uh, create a nice design on and a checkmate. So this is round 9. Round 10, we had the two stalwarts of our game of this year. Like what a year we have between Magnus and Hikaru. We can make a movie out of it. But it was Magnus who had the last laugh till like till today, at least the preliminary, and at least in 2020. It was in this position, guys, where Hikaru blundered with bishop d5. He thought, okay, rook d7, of course, white Magnus can do the pin and win trick. But after rook d7, Hikaru might have calculated king e6, but it is one tiny little detail that he missed was after rook d8, pawn to c4. So both the sides have these juicers, but Hikaru missed that in the end, White can queen with a check in the end, because White's queen will be on 8 and Black's king would be on d5. So there is no time to play c1 queen. So the pawn is stuck on c2, whereas we will queen, like for example, after rook d5, Nakamura resigned. He was disgusted on the face cams with that we saw. But the point being, I'll just show you a7, c2, and it's a queen, guys. And there is no time to play c1, and I just come back, put my queen here, collect the pawns, and win the game. But it didn't cost Hikaru too much, but it definitely gave Magnus that edge, and Magnus finished first at the end of the preliminary. So top 8 qualify, guys, and out of the 12 players, but it was Magnus having the last laugh in 2020 over Hikaru. Coming into the last game, guys, we had so many draws. We had 21 draws yesterday, and today we had like so many decisive games, and especially in the last round where there are qualifications spots up for grabs. Starting with this beautiful game between Wesley and Dubov, that was kind of going simple here. After f6, the point being, when your piece is attacked, don't think of saving it, but attack your opponent first. This is the Dubov. Dubov quoted this earlier this month, and it hit him as well. So the point being, rook e4, attacking the queen. Here, Wesley would have had to retreat his bishop after queen to d8, maybe bishop d2, maybe bishop f4. But Dubov blundered with queen g7, and here Wesley starts off with his amazing tactical vision here. Rook e8, the idea being, if you take the bishop, I go queen a8, and it's too much attack, too much fire on this. And I'll just show you. So maybe fg5, queen 8. The point being, you can't protect this, and if you take, I take, and now it's a checkmate in one move. So rook e8, Wesley is faced with bishop a7. So if I take here, you take here, and now Wesley so comes up with the game, with the move of the game, move of the tournament, move of the year as well, maybe. He gives up his queen for free with queen d7. The point being, if you take, I just take rook f8, and this is a mate into, and after queen d7, Dubov tried a couple of moves, but it's too little too late, because now bishop f6, the queen doesn't have any checks. And my point is, I just have queen g8, queen h8, too many threats. Even like you see the bar on the left, computer is giving like made in 6, guys, and it was game over. But luckily, it didn't cost Dubov too much, and it did cost some other players very much. So we'll come there. So Hikaru versus Anish was another nice game. Anish sadly losing out on qualification. He's such a people pleaser. He loves to uh, like make the audience involved in these events, and he's such a entertainer. But sadly, he missed out after blundering with queen c4, guys. And this is it's not a combination, it's not a puzzle why to play and win, but in this we'll see Hikaru's vision, Hikaru's foresight. It's like about 7 to 10 forced moves where Hikaru gets a winning position, and we'll just see. He goes rook c1. Queen has no space, guys. Queen is stuck. Queen has to go here. So queen d5 takes. Rook c6. Attacking the knight. Knight has to go back. Check. Rook blocks. Rook protects. Knight d7 takes. Now the rook gets in on the 7th rank, where it's known as heaven for the rook. And after rook d8, picks up a pawn and just starts rolling this pawn. Now he doesn't care even about his rook and his knight. His point is, this is going to get me a new baby girl on a8, and it's just over. And okay, white can be made to work extra hard, because after knight d8 there might be a fortress, but he picks up one pawn, and then this new juicer comes up the board, and Hikaru duly converted this. I'll share a link of all these games if you want in the description. Don't worry about that, so you can go through them once more. And coming back to our penultimate important game, this is between Levin Aronian and David Anton Guyaro, and a nice win for David Anton finally. I think it was around in this position, guys. So black is pushing, but still it ain't over, because it's the opposite color bishops. Even if you get this pawn, I have a dark squared bishop, I won't let go of these two pawns. But a very nice tactic here after bishop g3. rook a3 check and e5, pushing the king away from this bishop, and he just keeps pushing, and now this pawn goes through. So black is gifted with a fast pawn by Aronian, and luckily even it didn't cost Aronian too much. And now the point being, I'll pick up everything, and this pawn will be held by the bishop on c4, so there is no problems for black. And here we'll see how slowly but surely David Honor picks up everything, and now he has three passed pawns against the one, and it's just push him baby time. And yeah, we'll see as Aronian resigned in this position. And coming to the last but most important game of the day, the game of the tournament, guys. This is between Grishchuk and Maxime Pachir-Legrand. The point is, guys, out of 12 players, 8 players move on. 8 players will play the knockouts today, like day one of the knockouts today. So in this position, MVL is currently, out of the top 8. He is about 9th or 10th. Grishchuk is in, and I think even Harikrishna was on the cusp. He's 8th or 9th, depending on the tie breaks. So this game changed the entire dynamics, as I'll show you in the with standings later on. But it started out quickly. It started out slowly. I mean, Grishchuk being Grishchuk was taking too much time again. But okay, we expect that from him. A very very simple position, not much happening. And around this point, guys, like we saw in Nakamura game, there are forced series of trades, especially after this move, guys. After this move, and like MVL was winning suddenly after this. It doesn't look that trivial, but it is, guys. So after this takes, you see takes on c3, takes on e7, takes. Maybe he missed. He couldn't go here because he has a mate threat, so he has to defend that first. And now black is a pawn up, but these positions are notoriously known for their drawish tendencies. But just, I mean, I think MVL had that fire, had that desire, and Rook A6 is nice. And here, it like somewhere, I think after King G2 was the fatal mistake, I think, because the rook is still maybe better on a7. I'm not too sure, but after just what happened, maybe king e4 even as the computer suggests. So rook f2, rook a3, and you want to hold this 2 versus 3. That is possible, but after king g2, now just MVL shows his class, stamps his authority, and trying to create one more passed pawn. So he has to, white has to focus his king as well here to this side, and this is now lost because you have to just go somewhere with your king, and he just gets his king here. He's going to gobble up these pawns, and if you protect it with your rook, then the rook moves and there is a queen. So this was a very very high intense game, guys, because it cost Grishchuk his qualification, as we'll very quickly see. Even in this position, rook into a2 is too late because rook f2 wins. Point being, takes is winning because this pawn gets converted into queen. But in the game, a funny end, not funny for Grishchuk, not for us, funny for us, not for Grishchuk. But he had maybe pre-moved rook b2, and it's just he resigned without even seeing this move. And guys, now we come to the point why this was the most important game of the tournament is this, guys. So here we see the final ranking after 11 rounds. Magnus qualifies with first, and you see the big bunch over there between 7th and 10th place. MVL got through thanks to this win, so he was on 4 points. He got through because of this win. Dubov lost a couple of games, guys, but still he had a great start, so he was through. Harikrishna, our Indian hope, sadly has crashed out, but he played a really nice event, and in the end, you see Grishchuk is 10th. All these 4 players scored 5 points each, but it is TB2, guys. So as you can see, guys, the direct encounter. As you can see, tiebreak 2 is direct encounter, the results of the players in the same point group. So TB2 is the points scored by MVL, Dubov, Pentala, Harikrishna, and Grishchuk amongst each other. So amongst each other, MVL scored 2, Dubov scored 1.5, Hari scored 1.5, and Grishchuk scored 1. So Grishchuk is out. Now let's bring in why Harikrishna and Dubov. Like, what is the difference? So then let's move on to TB3. So you see, TB1 is the points equal. TB2 is the score in the same point group, that is also equal. And here in TB3, that is the greater number of victories in the whole tournament. That is in the 11 rounds. Hari didn't win a single game, guys, and that is the reason why sadly Hari Krishna is out. If you go one TB ahead, TB4, that is tiebreak 4, he is ahead of Dubov 28.25 but 25.5. But sadly the regulations stated that it will be TB3, that is greater number of victories. And Dubov, being the enterprising player, he lost so many games but he also won plenty of games. So sadly Hari Krishna was winless and had to crash out of a heartbreaking end. It is a very small margin of error. But sadly, Hari Krishna is out, and we have our quarterfinal lineup, guys. So it's number one place, number 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. So we'll be witnessing some epic games starting today. So that is Magnus versus Dubov, Wesley versus MVL, Hikaru versus Aronian, and Jan Nepomniachtchi versus Rajabov. So we'll have plenty of action and plenty of fun with even the quarterfinals, because it's going to be even more exciting because it's a knockout, guys. Do remember that. And it was an absolute pleasure taking you through all these recaps for day 1, 2, and 3. And we hope to see you for the knockouts as well.